Oh, good morning. It's actually after. Well, I guess it's 2:47 p.m. in the afternoon of November 19th of 2023. I'm in a bad mood for a number of reasons. I don't even. I guess if I bring them up, it's going to sound like, well, that's nothing. Why is he so upset? Why is he in a rage? It's just one thing after another. Anyway, I switched, from Spectrum internet service, and I'm not going to go through that again because with you because a month ago, whenever this took place, I went fucking crazy on the telephone with them. I went insane. If I'd have been in their building or something or other, they would have called security to come and stand by because there was a crazy man there. I mean, I went because I'd been dealing with them for years and they've been screwing me over for years. Uh, my stupidity, of whatever. Uh, so finally, I canceled with them, and then I set up with Verizon, and I talked a little bit about Verizon and a problem with. It sounds like I'm a one of these people. I'm not. Actually, I'm not. I make excuses for other people. I put up with things, and uh, you know. So um, the one of the features here in the United States, Congress or whatever, I guess, passed. I'm surprised anything's got passed. How did it get passed in our current situation with the Democrats and the Republicans? There's a program that got passed. Must have been under Obama's administration because Trump wouldn't have passed it. And the current day Republicans, they are in another they're in another world, so they wouldn't. What it was passed. Well, back in the olden days, uh, the government of the United States or whatever decided they wanted everybody to have mail service. That was important, for the entire nation, that everybody have mail service. And so universal mail service. We had a post office, and I don't think we were the only ones in the world that did that. That's important. Um, and other things like that came up. You could get some things done in the past. Um, One of the things was electricity. Uh, TVA, Tennessee Valley, I think, Association or something like that. Then there's which is at the dam in where the fantastic dam to bring electricity to people out in was it California or New Mexico or Arizona or electricity. An unbelievable project was done. You know, uh, I don't think it was one of the 10 wonders of the world or anything, but it was a fantastic project done. So the TVA and then other things brought electricity to and made a change to people's lives for good, saved lives, all kinds of things. And now, of course, the United States has like. Where do you think the United States is? I've mentioned this before, so if you've been following me, you may know. Where do you think we rank in the United States of America? You know, high tech country, uh, accomplished a lot. Um, I think we're like number 22, the last I heard. 22. We're down like number 22 on internet access and ability and prices and all that kind of stuff. Hong Kong, China, all these other, Sweden, all these countries, EU, all these countries, they're ahead of the United States because of the politics here, uh, business, our government isn't. It's not democracy. It's corporation. What would that be? And I mean, it's everything is. You know, if you're in Canada or if you're in the UK or if you're in Sweden and you have a medical problem, it gets taken care of, and you really don't get charged anything. Of course, that's not the narrative here in the United States or the right wing. Oh, Canada's, their health care is terrible, and Canada has to come over to get good health care to the United States, and blah, blah, all lies, And then the Republicans, say, well, I don't want to make this a political thing, but the system is just not working. So now, of course, the United States, some while back, of course, decided, hey, it is vitally important that all of our people have access to the internet. Or to the cell phones and to the internet. That's important. It's important for the economy, important for safety, 911 calls, and all this kind of stuff is important. We want everybody to have access to the internet, to the World Wide Web, all that kind of stuff. Great. That's true. That's important. So the government passed something, and I forget what it's called, and it is that anybody who is low income, anybody who has, needs food stamps or help with their rent or all this kind of stuff, they need access. And so they come up with a plan for everybody. If you make below a certain amount of money, and that's a large part of the United States, unfortunately, then you can get, you can get food stamps. What else could you get? Actually, they're not called food stamps anymore. They're called something else. And there's some other things that the government minimum, of course, the Republicans, big business, corporations, all those people, they fucking hate that idea. And, don't help the little person. Just let them die on the street, I mean, that's their attitude. And two, that's also the Christian wing of the United States, those people that, well, no, Jesus never asked for, food stamps. Jesus never, asked for transportation for people who, didn't have transportation, all this kind of, that's their mantra. Anyway, so I switched from Spectrum, a terrible organization, and I paid them for years and years. First it was like cable television, because that was what it was, cable television. You get, over the cable, you get your television channels, you get your, whatever the channels were then, And, but those companies charged, I was paying, I'm not really into watching, but I was paying here over $100. Now, Darlene, my ex-wife, she's lived here in this apartment complex for 22 years. I've moved here and have lived here for 12 years. And eventually, a few years ago, we moved in together. So we were only paying, one cable bill, one electric bill, one rent, all that kind of stuff, in order that we could make it. So, now food stamps. So Darlene gets food stamps. Now, when they came out with this thing of, okay, discounted internet service, we want everybody to have, that doesn't mean you're going to get all cable television. You're going to have a certain amount of internet service that you can have. You're not going to get HBO and Showtime and all that kind of stuff, unless you can afford it on your budget. But if you're on food stamps or two or three, maybe three or four things altogether, let's take food stamps because that's in the situation. Darlene has been on food stamps. And when Darlene moved in here, you know, she also qualified for, food stamps. And so you can get internet service at discounted prices. What is it? Off. I should know. $30. Okay. The government decided that if you're low income and that the government will pay $30 for you to have internet service. Of course, I was paying $150 for internet service at 1 gig. I never got 1 gig down, I don't think. That shows you how I'm not a crazy. That's crazy. I mean, doing that, but so anyway, I finally had it with Spectrum, and I went crazy. I mean, because of when I was on the phone with them, because I'd been on the phone with them in the past, and I think I might have gone through this before. That what they do, is, oh, okay, because I wanted to drop from the 1 gig down that I was never getting and save $100 or something like that. No, it would have been $50, $50 or something. And so I get them on the phone. And, okay, well, Mr. Howard, yes, we can take care of that. Let me put you on hold for a little bit. And then they play their commercials for like 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. Their commercials are playing. Then they come back, oh, okay, Mr. Howard. Okay, now you want to cancel this? Are you sure you want? We have such and such and no, I just want to cancel the 1 terabyte down because I'm not getting it. I've been getting it for years. I've been paying for it for years. Okay, okay, I'm going to go. I'll be back. And then they put on their commercials. Oh, our cell phone service, blah, blah, blah. Then come back 10 minutes later, the guy comes back. Okay, I'm just about done with that. And I said, well, I think I've heard all your commercials now. You've gone through them 2 or 3 times or 4 times. I've heard all the commercials. I think you're delaying, here. Can you just hit the switch or whatever you have to do and cut my internet down to 500 or whatever. I forget what it was, Oh, yeah, Mr. Howard, we can take care of that. I'll be back. I mean, and finally I just went fucking ballistic. And then they still, I screamed and hollered, and then I could hear in the background in their, thing, I could hear the person in charge of all these 25 people or whatever. I do, tell him this or, Oh, well, we need to get some information from you, since you're... Oh, no, that was when I was canceling the service totally, and I was going to, Verizon. And, well, we need to get your address that you're going to be moving to, and all this kind of stuff. So I went crazy. I mean, my blood pressure probably went, so it's a wonder I didn't. They'd have loved that, Some crazy guy went so crazy that he, his brain exploded or something. I think they'd have loved it. So anyway, so I hooked up with Verizon. Have I told you the problems I had there with Verizon? So then I got, I don't know, you can watch the video. The Verizon people came through here, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little bit about it. They came through here and said, oh, I said, wow, it's available here now. Yes. They signed me up and told me some stuff. And then, boom, soon as it took 2 days to get the box, got the box, plugged it in, 10 minutes, I'm going to say 15, I said 15, but it was like 10 minutes. Plugged it in. There it is, green light, internet, you know. And then later on in the night or whatever, you know, everything is green, you know. Internet, boom, we lose it. Lose it for 5, 6, 7, 9 minutes. And it, oh shit. Then it comes back. Oh, okay, it's back. Things like that happen. 2, 3 hours later, we lose it. Darlene yells, no television. I said, yeah, there's some kind of a, you know. Went through that for a couple of days, and I mean, I moved it around, of course, but I always had the green, you know, the green light. So then it turns out that it was just not working. So I send the equipment back to them, and they're very sorry, you know, and they, anyway, a few months later, Verizon salesmen come, you know, and I said, come on in. They were surprised, you know, come on back, you know, whatever. And then the guy tells me, no, this is our first day or whatever of this apartment. I said, no, that got signed up here a few months ago. And the guy said, no, this is, you know. I said, yeah, they, you know. And he said, what was their names or whatever? He says, this is the first time that we had internet. I said, well, they told me that the tower was over. Oh, no, the tower is not across the street there. The tower, the new tower, or the tower that they're using now is this way, the other side of the building, and it's just available. And he says, these people couldn't have signed you up because see this laptop that I've got here? See the green light? That means that when we're here, that this, you know, is, you know, it's available. He said they would have, you know, he says it's just now available. So anyway, I got hooked up. So, whole bunch of perks. Now, the perks back then, when I first signed up, which they shouldn't have been signing us up, I liked the perks they had then. They had, I forget if it was like, I think one was lifetime. You get lifetime, you know, 300 baud, you know, down, and the price will never change. And what else? Several things like that that, oh, great, you know. Well, that was in the beginning. See, when they came in, then the thing didn't work, you know, because it wasn't supposed to be working here. So the new people come, and they show up. And the guy says, you know, anyway, he bullshit, you know, he's, oh, well, yeah, this is great. He says, and you qualify for the, you know, $30 from the government. And he says, you'll be paying practically nothing for you're getting internet for free. And he says, what speed do you get now? And I said, well, I get 500 down, you know, something like that. And I said, you know, easily it's always like 385, 400, something like that down. Oh, yeah, you'll do, you know, this will be just, you know, you're going to get, he says, but 300 is about what we really say that you can, you know, that you can get down 300. Yeah. So anyway, I sign up. And then I try to fill out the Darlene tries to fill out because she's getting food stamps. We qualify for $30 off of the price. The government pays for $30 of the bill. And so then after a few days, and I was getting 300 down after a few days. Now, same thing, the box comes, you know, I hook it up, 15 minutes, it's working. And now we're not losing it now. It's working, it's still working. But then after a few days, I'm not getting 300 down. I'm getting 100 down. And I thought, well, I can, 100's okay. I just upload something occasionally, and that's okay. That'll work. And then I thought, oh shit, I'm paying. So then I talked to because he gave me his number, the salesman that came here and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got a lady, that's in your apartment complex. It's bullshit, And she's getting 385. But he says, that's high. She's getting 385 down, or whatever. And I said, oh, okay. So I moved even though I had a green light everywhere. I'm sitting here, by the way, in my room, not on the other side of the building. It's green light sitting here on my desk. And I'm getting, I was getting, then I wasn't getting 300, I was getting like 100 down. But anyway, so I find out that a few months ago when I got their service, I thought, which it turned out I really wasn't getting their service, they had made a change. Oh, remember I talked about the perks? One of the perks was 2 years, no price change on the, the charge. And one was, I think, lifetime, no change to the thing. Well, in that period of time, the 1 month or 2 months or whatever that they finally showed up, where they finally had internet service here, I didn't know, and this guy did not tell me. They had made it where the base, what you get is 300 down. No, you don't get 300 down, you get 100 down. So I bought new cables, and moved the thing around, all that kind of stuff. And then I found out, no. So I guess what they did was, when they went around hooking everybody up, they give them probably, I'm guessing, you get 300 down. And probably then the salesman would tell you, I'm guessing. This guy didn't. Oh, okay, now we're just giving you here, we're giving you 300 down, but, if you don't want it, whatever, then, you can have it for a while, I guess, and then you'll go to 100 down. So I've gone through things, things like that. So anyway, I finally got around to, Darlene filled out the paperwork she needed to fill out. So we'd get $30 off. And so then I tried to get, the thing done. Finally, oh, and the Verizon, their website is insane. I mean, insane. They're just too big. I mean, they got everything all together. Cell phone service, internet service, I don't know, porta potty service. I don't know what the hell they got. They got everything. It's all mixed together, and you go there and you try to find something. And then you get hooked up with somebody, and then these people switch you. They must have a rule, like, okay, to help people, You connect with them. However you connect with them, you connect with them. Oh, okay, well, Mr. Howard, I'm going to put you in contact with someone. Is it okay if I switch you to this other? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, I did not go crazy. I should have. I spent 2 hours and nothing was accomplished. And I wasn't even trying to accomplish the discount. What was I trying to accomplish? I forget what I was trying to accomplish. That might have been all of a sudden when it went to, I didn't have 300 down, I only had 100 down, and I was getting switched all over the place. Honest to God, I mean, and they're sending text messages to me, they're having all this kind of stuff, everything popping up and switch me to, and I have to go to the bathroom every once in a while. I had to use the plastic cup to urinate in because I was here at the, So then I got the, they said, oh no, well we don't, the service, it's not, you don't get, 300 down, you get 100 down, but you can upgrade to 300. Okay, upgrade me to 300. So they upgraded me to 300, and I have 300 now. But the $30 off, I haven't got that fixed yet because I called, talked to somebody, whatever, I got a thing from the government. Here's the information you need to give this. All you have to do is just give this information to your internet service provider. That's all. You just contact them, give that to them. Here it is, right here, 5 lines, And so I did that this morning, and I was on hold and on switching around because they're doing this, doing that, and then, okay, well, Mr. Howard, you're going to have to go to a Verizon office. We can't do this over the phone. I forget what the reason is they couldn't do it over the phone. I have the numbers. This is the number the government gave. The name, the date of birth, the number. So, okay, I'll have to make you an appointment at a Verizon office. Now, we don't have a car. The ex-wife is in a wheelchair. So they have an office 3.3 miles from here. In the old days, I could walk 3.3 miles, or I could ride my bicycle 3.3 miles. I was a bicycle patrol officer at a hospital for a year or so. Anyway, it's 3.3 miles from here, and I have to go there, actually go there to their Verizon office. After being on the phone for a long time with this nice lady. So I have to go there. She made an appointment for me. Oh, by the way, I made a video. Okay, so if I ended this here in a couple days, I think it's the 22nd. Now, actually, she said, well, you actually could just go over there at any time, But I mean, back a few years ago, I could have ridden my bike. I could have walked over there. But I think some of you liked my walking and talking video, which actually wasn't a walking and talking video because I was pulling up Google Maps, and that's what I'm going to do now. So you saw a video a while back of what very little we have around here. We're in West Fort Worth. Very little left here. Now, 3.3 miles from here, you are going to, and this is where I'm going to have to go. Let me go here first. So here it is. 3.3. Anyway, you saw this pitiful excuse here, empty because of the SAC Air Base, shutting down to becoming a reserve base. But just 3.3 miles away from here in Fort Worth, look at this. My God. Farm fresh produce. Farmers market. This is, let's see. What's this here? Shop after shop after shop here. I mean, it's a world of difference. Looks almost like the plaza in Kansas City, Missouri, the world famous plaza that lights their lights every Christmas, and people come from other countries to see it. Ah, Spectrum. Whoops, no, that's not the one I want. There's Verizon, okay. Anyway, all kinds of eating places and all types of stuff all over. Um, farmers market, a pub, rugs. Uh, they have everything. Anyway, just keep. I'm not gonna, but look at the world of difference between West Fort Worth and 3.3 miles away. They have a whole bunch of different kind of eating places, farmers market, fancy places that I guess we couldn't afford. I don't think they'd let us in. We're low class people. Never heard of that bank. I'm sure they're better than Wells Fargo. I deal with Wells Fargo, but they're half a block from here. And we don't have a car. Farmers market. I mean, just on and on. Anyway, I'm showing you maybe the same places over and over again. This is probably some kind of an office building, corporate office building or something, I'm guessing here. What's over here? School of Real Estate. I went to real estate school and graduated from Kansas City, Missouri back in like 1959. I didn't work at it because I didn't want to. But I could have been the school was, you became a real estate broker and an appraiser. And then when you took the state license in Jefferson City, the capital of state capital in Missouri, then you were a real estate broker, and then you could hire salesmen. And then underneath you, then they, whatever. I didn't think that I could sell real estate. I passed the test, and the test that you took was the same test. Well, not the same one. They naturally would change the numbers around, but it was the same test you'd take when you went to Jefferson City. Just to be different, the different price of the house and the different whatever. But I didn't think that I was that I could do that kind of a job at that time. So turns out I could have, but I didn't know that was within me. It took me years to figure out that I didn't know I could get up and speak in front of a group. I figured out that, and that was if you give me something, even a teleprompter, what if not, but if I know the subject, if I know what I'm talking about, then I can talk about it just fine. So anyway. Okay, this is only 33 minutes, so I don't know, maybe sometime I should come over here and we should actually go through here and look at all these different places. Because wherever you are, especially if you're outside the United States, I'm not saying we have anything better. I'm sure you probably have better than we do. Because you probably don't have a capitalistic system. That's the problem. We're a democracy. Of course, the Republicans say, no, the United States is not a democracy. It is not a democracy because there's a Democratic Party and a Republican Party. And Democratic Party sounds like democracy. And during the Cold War or whatever, the Republicans were, capitalism versus communism. No, it wasn't capitalism versus communism. It was democracy, versus, it was, freedom versus, communism. But the Republicans, oh my God. The Republicans, if you happen to be, you wouldn't probably notice it if you're from the outside the United States and you're watching the news. Somebody's being Republicans being interviewed. They don't say, the Democratic Party is, giving stuff to people they shouldn't be giving stuff to. The Democratic Party does this. They don't say that. They got together and they decided the Democrat Party. And now I've mentioned several times, of course, it would actually not work. It wouldn't work for anybody to do it. But if I was being interviewed, if I was a news reporter asking questions, of a Republican, I'd say, what's, such and such, President Biden this, and then what the Republican is going to say, well, the Democrat Party, and what I would say is I was a news person. Of course, it wouldn't work. It would not work. But I'd say, I'm sorry, Senator, did you say Democrat Party? Yes, the Democrat Party. Senator, there's a Republican Party. There's a Democratic Party. There's no Democratic, there's no, and it would not work. But that's what I would actually fucking do and just sit, or if I were the news person and the person's, if the senator or the congressman, Republican says the Democrat Party, instead of the Democratic Party, I'd say, I'm sorry. I'd do that a few times and I'd say, of course I'd do, it wouldn't work. I'd say, I'm sorry, senator or congressman or whatever. This interview is coming to an end. How can I ask you questions and how can you respond to me when there is no Democrat Party? There's a Democratic Party, and of course that wouldn't. I'd been fired if I was a news person. I'd have been fired or whatever. But still, God help us. Anyway, I hope this is okay. I think it's. I haven't been paying attention to the. Anyway, I've been really unhappy with Verizon. I'm okay with the price. And the connection. I've got it's wireless, and I've got the modem sitting here. I've got the 3 bars, and it's, I probably shouldn't do this. This is probably a mistake. Let's go here and do, where is it now? Where do I put that? Okay, down here, okay. Oh, it's going to pop up over here. Oh, here it is. I'll bring it over here. Okay, let me minimize this so there's no confusion. Okay. This is the Verizon service. There you go. It's 300, 318, whatever, 322. And the cost is going to be, if I get this $30 discount, it's going to be about $100, I think, which is, but I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Like I said, we don't have, I'll have to, there's a service that you can get that'll come and pick you up if you're disabled like I am and like Darlene is. They charge $4 to come and pick you up and take you, and then you tell them when to pick you up, and then that's $4 to come back. It's actually more expensive than the bus service, but the bus service, like I'd have to walk up the hill, top of the hill, which going down is kind of okay, but going up, anyway, thank you very much for watching.